Yeah.
What?
Right, we need to go up onto that bridge just there. How are you, by the way?
I'm fine, how are you?
Great, I'm good.
I'm recording. What are you doing that for? Behind the scenes!
That way,
Yep.
the way the train just came from, was the Exeter line. That was built like probably mid-1850s or something. It's quite important because to the right-hand side, or as we look down there, is the West Somerset Railway.
That's the one that goes off that way?
Yes. Now, there used to be a line called the Devon and Somerset Railway, which used to go straight on from here. And that is what we're doing today, the Devon and Somerset Railway, every disused station number...
41?
41. Right, so after all those lines were built and that big junction was there, they put in Norton Fitzwarren, which is our first tick of the day. We've got 13 more abandoned stations to visit. 13 more stations to visit. I can't speak because my mouth's so cold.
It's a bit nippy.
Have you got a map? So we're going to end up in Barnstaple, which is nearly 50 miles away from where we are now, which is in Taunton. So we've got a lot to cover today.
Ooh, let's do it then.
Also, Rebecca's doing a behind the scenes as we...
Okay, that just looks really weird. How bizarre is that?
Behind the scenes. If you want to see a behind the scenes video of today, nip over. Really can't speak. Nip over to Rebecca's channel, which is Rebecca's Nest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's difficult to remember bearings here. This is Milverton. Just come down off the road. There's a lovely set of steps here, which obviously are railway related. I think the railway was just to my right hand side there. So yeah, Milverton pretty much obliterated by this roundabout. Just over that side there. There are some nice steps just back there if you do come to take a look. Woodless Coombe. Probably not pronounced like that.
The big steps, they're deep steps as well.
Yeah.
Really deep.
Right, I mean it's raining now and it's significantly muddy. Lovely bridge over there, look at that. Right, so ahead of us is a Venn diagram viaduct.
Paul is sheltering under a tree.
Come join me. But just the other side of the camera are some incredibly impressive structures. Look at that. These massive pillars. Bigger than Hook and Chip and Norton viaducts, I think. Huge great things. We're just sheltering from the rain for a second. Around about 9 months ago, I got an email from a lovely chap who said, oh, come and visit my parents' house.
I remember you saying, yep.
They own an abandoned station. They love people to come and see it. They have open days, garden open days, all sorts. So we thought, well, okay, that sounds amazing. Within a month of that, we got an email from a lovely lady who said, come and see my parents' house and garden. They live in an abandoned station, disused station.
Coinky dinky.
Coinky dinky. And it turned out it was a brother and sister, which is wonderful. Independently emailed myself and Rebecca and invited us to their parents' house. So as part of today's Every Disused Station, we have got an invite into Venn Station. So we've been planning this trip for, well, 9 months or so. And of course, it really didn't disappoint. The owners were lovely and beyond and took us all around their property, starting with access down to the platform area.
From here on, you've got the original railings.
Yep.
Not the steps, it was the slope, you can see from the road.
Okay, yep.
Someone else put these.
Yeah. Of course.
This is where, you just see the steps, where they went up to the station. But somebody else filled that in to put the deck here.
And then we headed down the slope to the platform level. Now, soon after closure, it was taken over by a scrapyard. They filled in the track bed and pretty much covered all the platforms and some.
We're now at platform level.
Okay.
And you can just about see the platform wall.
Yep.
Still there underneath the greenery.
Wow. So when the current owners took over the property here, there was a lot of work to do, but they did uncover quite a lot of the hidden history here.
Yes, the leaves have gone in there, but
Down there, that was our water supply when we first came here.
Oh, wow.
That was the original station water supply.
the tank. Here somewhere.
Porter, signalman, I think he was.
Yeah.
His first job here was to pump
Well, a whole load of water up to the...
up to the house.
Yeah.
For them,
Wow.
for the day.
Yeah.
It was part of his job.
Brilliant. So as I think we may have mentioned earlier, one of the things that the owners here take part in is a national garden scheme where you essentially open up your garden for members of the public to see. Now this of course has its own benefits.
It was useful having the garden open for National Garden Scheme because a lot of people who came, or quite a few people,
Yeah.
had connections with the station
Okay.
in one way or another.
Yeah, so you learn a lot more as time goes on.
Met signalmen,
Yeah.
several of the crew of the trains that went through here, drivers and firemen.
Wow.
All up there.
Yes, all buried in there, but they were the platform edging stones.
Aha. So before we head on the rest of our journey west towards Barnstaple, we were allowed a quick trip into their neighbour's garden, which used to be the old goods shed. I believe it's now called the engine shed, but again, a lot of hat tips to the history here that had gone before.
Yeah. There's a tiny bit of platform.
Ah, yeah.
Still there.
We're risking our life and limb here.
Yes. We're on the right side of the road, highway code and all that jazz.
Yep. Dulverton. Carnarvon Arms just to our left.
Oh, the terminus for the
Or the terminus, yeah, it wasn't the junction at all.
Tiverton trains terminated.
Yeah, Tiverton trains terminated here on this, so it's a shared station. But this obviously was Dulverton, which was a stop along the Devon and Somerset Railway.
Aye, aye.
Anstey.
Ants.
Yeah, it's getting cold, it's getting wet, and here we are, just a lovely little overbridge. And below us a deep cutting, with a little sign in and everything. So there's not much there, but someone has put us on East Anstey. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Right, so lots of things to tell you, and we keep dotting from station to station. We haven't really sort of caught up and caught up with ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we've had what a great time we had at Venn with that lovely family who invited us to their house.
Yes, it was thank you.
So we've got a lot more stations to tick off still today. It's 1 o'clock, 1:30. So we've got 2.5 hours of light. We've still got another tunnel to do for another video that's going to be with you soon. All the tunnels from the longest line because there were 4. So yeah, so we're doing good. This is East Anstey. I want to say Anstey because that sounds good.
It does sound like Anstey.
But it's got a T in the middle. Right, anyway. That didn't work, did it? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it's getting really dark. We're dotting between these stations. The roads are terrible. There's no rail link for obvious reasons. And it's miserable. So we're now coming up to Molland, then it was changed to Bishop's Nympton Molland. I'll put that down below. Lovely scenery around here, but could really do with a better day. So that's the famous shot of this station, all those supporting arches. There was a platform on the south side, which is the other side to these arches, but obviously they wanted to ensure that the line was intact, so I put on all these arches just here. just on the hunt for, I can't remember the name of the tunnel. The tunnel that's about a kilometre up that way. But I did note on the old maps there looks to be an old bridge just next to the Devon Link Road. So I just sort of come down and try and get a quick shot of it. So one of the fascinating things about this line, which we've yet to discuss because we haven't had time, we've been dotting from station to station to station, is Morbuth Junction, where the Tiverton line from the south joined on, because there's a wonderful story. The only female signaller pre-1900 was positioned there from 1890, 1888, 1890, when that junction was opened. There wasn't a station at the time. I don't think a station came until 1928, but 1890, Mrs. Towns was the female signaller, and I think there was a report of her in about 1910. She'd been there 20 years, and it just said she's quite happy, and it's a shame it didn't catch on more, and the perception was it was a very much male industry. But hey, different, no complaints. It's a different world, a different time, a different history, and not one that I'm gonna get too much into. It's like a really changeable day today.
That's an understatement.
The Devon and Somerset Railway is probably lovely, but there's no pathways to walk on, so we're basically just dotting from station to station. But I'm just putting it out here now. I've got the best sandwich in the world ever. Just stopped at this little garage, little Merco garage. Oh my god! Pulled pork and green salad, but it's full of like a relishy, not relish, but
It's
like
a barbecue sauce.
barbecue sauce. Oh my god, it's lovely.
And it's so full.
Right, what have we got next? We've got South Milton, we've got Filey, we've got Swimbridge, Barnstaple, obviously Barnstaple Victoria being the last one.
Yep.
So a couple of those drive-bys, which we may not even get done today, so we'll have to finish off in a couple of days' time because we're still here. But we've also got some big tunnel ones coming up as well. So yeah, oh god, this sandwich is good. Oh. Right, so made it to the end of the line, Rebecca. Barnstaple Victoria. This line was a beaching cut. I haven't ranted about beaching because I never really want to rant about beaching, but here we are in a line that would have been pretty epic had it still been alive today. Now the lady we met at Venn station said the reason why the line was closed, one of the excuses they used was because they couldn't sustain the viaduct over at Venn.
Yep.
Because
Couldn't take the weight, basically.
Too much to repair it and too much to put it back on. And yet they still, with the viaduct that we just passed over, they still managed to repair that and put a road on top. So that probably tells you what the motive was back then. So we've hoped you've enjoyed every Disused station number 41. Not been the greatest day for us, but we've got,
well, we did it.
Quite a few stations ticked off from our list.
Yeah.
Right, we'll see you next Sunday.